It's Friday, July 17th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Creditors will soon have their say on whether cash-strapped regional carrier LIAT should be liquidated. A meeting with the company's creditors is scheduled to take place at LIAT's headquarters in Antigua on July 31 to discuss the liquidation, which was announced almost 3 weeks ago. In a letter dated July 16 and signed by LIAT's company secretary, creditors were informed that the meeting was being held to consider the winding up of the company. However, it is not known if that meeting will still be held following news that LIAT's chairman, former Prime Minister Owen Arthur, had been hospitalized. Meanwhile, one of the airlines vying to fill the possible void left by LIAT is prepared to offer jobs to employees of the cash-strapped carrier. Chairman of the Turks and Caicos-based InterCaribbean Airways, Lyndon Gardinier, says he is committed to hiring some of LIAT's former workers as it also looks to increase the number of destinations it currently services. With LIAT headed for liquidation, scores of employees across the region, including Barbados, are expected to go on the breadline. Gardinier tells Barbados Today he believes the Caribbean had some of the best aviation staff, and it would be a great loss if LIAT's employees found employment outside of the region.
Absolutely. First of all, our model is not this island hopping, which add costs. Second of all, the aircraft we're operating, we've gotten some time operating them, so we've got the operational costs and best practices down to a science. We operate only two main types of airplane, so with the difference of not having multiple fleet also adds to some economies of scale. On top of that, based on how we intend to structure the flights, basically you'll have all of the people moving to and through Barbados, and that would help to have that would certainly bring an economic cost down. And on top of that, I think the governments are really playing their part. They're really interested in seeing that schedule their services is maintained at a good level throughout the Caribbean.
Gardinier says the airline is well positioned to provide safe, reliable and economical transport throughout the region.
I'm very confident. We've had 28 plus years of being in the business. We grew from a small charter company from the 1991-92. We have been doing schedule flying since 2003. So we were well prepared for it. Presently, we're operating to some 22 destinations in 14 countries. We carried just around 400,000 people last year, and we're operating in the Northern Theater, the Northern Caribbean. We're operating somewhere between 50 and 60 flights per day, depending on the day of the week. So I think with the assets we have, the organization we have, and the committed people we have, we're ready for the challenge.
Businesses in Barbados continue to struggle despite the country being fully reopened, and the situation has led to reduced opening hours for some, with owners complaining of a significant decline in the number of customers patronizing their businesses. President of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Edward Clark, told Barbados Today businesses from all sectors were being affected as shoppers were simply not spending.
Randy, I think it is quite clear that business is far from pre-COVID. You cannot remove the tourism sector of the economy, and I don't think it'll be reasonable to expect business to remain the same. So many people are still unemployed. The business is just not there. The spendable income is just not there, and people are not spending at the level they did pre-COVID. You just don't have the customer basis, but I mean, when you consider the number of visitors to the island and the number of restaurants, hotels, etc., suppliers across the island that would meet that demand. It's just not there right now. So as a result, businesses have been trying to stay open, and keep the business flowing, but obviously look at controlling their costs, which is a big part of the cost is labor, as you would imagine in Barbados, and utilities. So that is a significant reason I would imagine for reducing the hours, opening hours. You just have the customer base right now to support longer hours.
More than 1,000 people were granted relief from their loans and mortgages during the 3-month COVID-19 lockdown. And Vice President of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Cedric Murray, has promised that extensions on the moratoria will continue on a case-by-case basis as members continue to navigate severe financial difficulties.
Our moratorium program would have been in place from about April, and we have had quite a few of our members who have availed themselves of it. It would be over 1,000 of our members who have availed themselves in various either 1 month or 3 months. 3 months has now elapsed, and we are evaluating as we speak members who have applied for a further moratorium, and we are seeing now and evaluating the impact that it has had on the institution and certainly our members. That evaluation is ongoing. But let me say to you that we have been very happy to be able to provide that relief to our members.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Regional news now. 2 new cabinet ministers took up office in Bermuda, while Premier David Burt added the Ministry of Tourism to his portfolio. More in this report from Bermuda Broadcasting.
The Premier takes on this role after Ministers Zane De Silva and Wayne Keynes were asked to resign for breaching COVID-19 protocols at a dinner event. They are succeeded by first-time ministers Renee Ming and Neville Tyrrell. Former Senator and PLP Party Chairman Tyrrell takes on the now separated transport portfolio.
We already talked late last night about me taking on the role, so I would obviously love to see what it is that's ahead of me. I do know that my biggest challenge probably is going to be the airport.
Renee Ming, former St. George's Alderman and Opposition Senate Leader, is the new Minister of National Security.
I'm well aware of the challenges that we face at this time. I'm looking forward to working with as many stakeholders as I can. I believe that we are a community in terms of Bermuda.
While the new ministers are going to need a little time to acclimatise to responsibilities, the Premier immediately signalled a tighter grip on the BTA.
Demanding accountability of the Bermuda Tourism Authority. There'll be more of that. Persons who are being paid twice as much as me.
And finally, the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo's Equator province continues to grow, causing major concern as the World Health Organization and partners face critical funding gaps. Confirmed cases have now surpassed the total number recorded during the province's last outbreak in 2018.
There are now 56 cases, and this is of great concern, particularly as it is now surpassing the previous outbreak in this area, which was closed off and controlled at a total of 54 cases. Some cases are located in remote areas surrounded by rainforests, demanding additional capacities and resources for the response.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.